Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here with a cornet review. We have got one of the classic cornets by the Conn Corporation. This is a 38A. It's what they call the short cornet. It is a Constellation and somewhat similar, they say, to the 28A, which was the long version of this. Famed for its nickel, silver, is the most of the instrument with, as they said, brass trim. And you've got that on, of course, the tuning slide, first slide and third slide. You've got your trigger here, which is par for the course. This was an Elkhart horn, I believe, from 1968, as I looked quickly at the serial number. It's got a big bore. I believe this is a 485 bore, which is what Getzen uses on their valve trombones. And 4 13/16 bell, so large bore, a very manageable bell. Constellations, I think, were some of the finest horns that Conn put out. They do have a tendency, and I've got a very sensitive mic here, sorry, but they do have bouncy valves, which is a source of conversation on some Trumpet Herald forum. And it's always interesting to read that. In fact, this trumpet or cornet did come from Trumpet Herald. It's a friend of mine here in the Charleston area. And Rick, thank you very much for allowing me to have this to tootle on for a little while. It is such a fun instrument to play. A little different with its, cornet style, smaller receiver, a little shorter mouthpiece. And then when you get the large bore here, I will no doubt make some flubs when I start playing. But why don't we get right to it? Okay, the mouthpiece that I wanted to start off with, well, what did we do with that? Oh. Here we go. Okay, having a really good time with the Warburton 6MC that is actually about the diameter of a Bach 7C. The MC is quite a bright sounding cup, so you get a nice, just a real good live sound for it. I'm recording, of course, I'm in a very quiet room, lots of stuff to take up the sound, so I do use a little sound system. Got a nice Mackie blender here, mixer, excuse me, and a Cascade Fathead mic, which I'm using, and I might even intersperse an AKG 420, which I use a little more. Really like the sound of this Cascade Fathead, though it's doing a great job. Okay, and we'll try this with the Warburton 6MC. If I only had a brain. I say it a lot. You know, you get a nice pro horn in, a nice vintage horn, and they just sound so good. I don't play cornet a whole lot, and I generally do apologize for the mistakes that I do make. I think if I played it more often, I just chop it up a little more than I do with trumpet. Okay, I'm going here to a Curry BBC. It's quite a deep cup. I think the drill is a 19 or 20 and should give a very nice dark sound. Missed that both times. Got a nice little octave jump there, and I'm missing it. Can you believe it? Okay, another mouthpiece I've played for years, very unique, distinctive. The rim is quite thick. It's a Curry VC, his vintage cornet piece, and made for old cornets, and you'll notice it's considerably shorter than the newer models that are used. It's a straight, almost a straight V with quite a large, I think it's a 19, maybe an 18 drill, something like that. Gives kind of a breathy sound. If you want a real sharp sound, this might not be for you, but they say this is what the old vintage cornets were like, a little bit more breathy tone. Isn't that interesting? Just a little breathy tone, kind of attractive, I think. Okay, I'm going to go to a couple of Reeves pieces here, and if you can see, you see the brass on the bottom of the cup. That means, in all likelihood, when you see that on any mouthpiece, someone has gone in and resculpted the interior of this. And I'm telling you, they really enlarged the drill size. But I like it, and hope you like it too. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn off this Cascade Fathead mic I've used for some time, an AKG 420, and just going to give it a try and see what the difference is in sound. And real quickly, the Fathead mic again by Cascade. We have enough, don't we? In the Western world, we have sometimes an embarrassment of riches. We're a very, very fortunate people. Okay, moving on, I've got another Reeves here, which is a considerably tighter drill size. Still a nice cornet piece. This one was not redone by someone, I don't believe. And we'll give it a shot, and we're back with the Cascade Fathead mic. All right, and boy, I tried this earlier and I really struggled with it. It's a straight box 7C, but we'll give it a shot. Honestly, after all of these mouthpieces, that Bach rim is just not comfortable. It's got a little more bite on the interior, and I would not want to have to play that thing full time. If you like a straight 3C or a 7C, they say Curry has a great rim for those and pretty true to size. With Warburton, if you like the 7C, that's more of a 6 size with him. He's got some great mouthpieces. I've just really had a blast with him the last few weeks. Okay, I'm using an old Conn here, and I believe this is a Conn 4. It's got most of the silver plate wore away. I probably wouldn't want to play that bare brass for long. But and this one, again, also has quite a small drill size, actually small size for the drill. And so you do get a very strong projection. But you got a Conn mouthpiece, vintage Conn, with an old Conn, vintage Conn cornet, just a nice mix. I went out to get a pizza this evening to bring in for the family to eat. Nothing better than good hot pizza. And I was thinking, I generally do a number of mouthpieces because it can really vary the sound of the instrument. If you play lead, we try and give you a few sharper sounding mouthpieces. If you like the big tone, we try and give you that option as well. I'm going to play just a moment on this, and then I'm going to switch to the biggest. So right next to each other, I usually grade myself or move by grade from the smallest to the largest, but we'll play next to each other so you can get an idea of the real difference in tone that you would find. I'm going to go back to the first one I started with, a 6C, and then we'll switch to the larger one. And the biggest? So you can see the difference there. Great instrument. Again, it's Conn's 38A. I had one years ago. Dave, I should never have sold that cornet to you. It actually was one of the early ones and had a copper bell. But great horns, so interesting. Rick, thank you for allowing me to play on this. And hope you've enjoyed it, folks. As I always say, it's a troublesome time that we live in. Take care of yourself and take care of someone near you. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up. That's the like sign. And if you want to subscribe, I've been on 4,099 followers for quite some time. And I looked today and I thought maybe I'll have 4,100. It went down to 4,098. Come back, whoever left me. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. Stick with the trumpet, cornet. Have a great time playing. And as always, we appreciate the comments. If you've got experience with constellations, let us know what you thought, which constellation you like the best. And as always, take care. Have a good time and stay safe.